Once again, US President-elect Donald Trump has voiced his outrage on Twitter, venting his anger over unsubstantiated claims about his ties with Russia. During Wednesday's media conference, Trump accused US intelligence of leaking a damaging report about him. Trump called the unverified document fake. He's now posted on Twitter that the head of US intelligence spoke to him about whether it was legitimate. Trump's tweet reads, "James Clapper called me yesterday to denounce the false and fictitious report that was illegally circulated. Made up, phony facts, too bad." But in a statement, the US Director of Intelligence, James Clapper, said he's spoken to Trump about this. He said, "I emphasize the document is not a US intelligence community product, and that I don't believe the leaks came from within the intelligence community. However, part of our obligation is to ensure that policymakers are provided with the fullest possible picture of any matters that might affect national security." Well, let's get the latest from Nina Maria Potts, who joins us from Washington, D.C., and plenty of back and forth on this. Nina Maria, tell us the latest about what's happening between Trump and the US intelligence agencies.
Well, there are clearly two different narratives emerging, and in a sense that was always going to happen, because what do you do with an incoming president whose genius tactic, some people might say, is to simply repeat and repeat and repeat on Twitter what he holds to be true? Donald Trump says James Clapper called him to denounce the intelligence briefing on Russia. This is the briefing in which there were allegedly two pages on Donald Trump's alleged and unsubstantiated claims relating to his personal behavior in Moscow. James Clapper says very clearly in that statement that he simply spoke to Donald Trump to say that he was upset and to denounce the fact that this intelligence report had been leaked to the press. Donald Trump is picking his fight not just with the intelligence agencies, but also with the media. And I mean, I would just say that the backchat in Washington is that U.S. newspapers, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, have been trying for some time to stand up these allegations. They have not been able to do it. So any sort of commentary on these allegations can only come really from the intelligence briefing itself and not from the media, because the press simply did not go ahead and publish those claims.
Nina Maria, just stay with us for one moment. As we know, confirmation hearings are ongoing in Washington with Trump's picks for the next administration. And we've been hearing that the man nominated to head Trump's Defense Department has warned against Russia's motives at his hearing. Here's what he had to say.
Right now, the most important thing is that we recognize the reality of what we deal with Mr. Putin. And we recognize that he is trying to break the North Atlantic Alliance, and that we take the steps, the integrated steps, diplomatic, economic, military, and the alliance steps, the working with our allies to defend ourselves where we must.
So just how far is this issue of Russia and its influence overshadowing these hearings?
I mean, it's a key issue, as is Russia's role in Syria. What is emerging in all of these hearings is just how difficult it's about to get to represent Donald Trump's global worldview abroad, because there are differences of opinion. We heard General James Mattis just there pointing the finger at Vladimir Putin and suggesting that Russia was deliberately trying to dismantle the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. But they were also both challenged. This is Mike Pompeo, who's dubbed to be the next head of the CIA. They were both challenged on Russia hacking and the Iran deal. There was a difference of opinion between General Mattis and Mike Pompeo on Iran, with James Mattis saying that the U.S. needs to honor the Iran deal. Mike Pompeo is saying that he would examine it closely, and that as head of the CIA, he would be monitoring Iran's nuclear activities and not really committing, just simply saying that the US needed to be objective. back on Russia, I mean, the problem is for both of them that Donald Trump's refusing to go very far in pointing the finger at Vladimir Putin for anything right now. Both of them being thoroughly grilled by senators on their views on Russia and just how motivated Vladimir Putin was to try and derail the US election. Their absolute acknowledgement that that was the case and that Russia was behind these hacking attacks. So again, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for even his top choices to really see eye to eye with the incoming president.
Nina Maria Potts, thank you very much indeed for that. That's a view from Washington, D.C. Well,